So, what do you think about the new intro? I might just keep it, I may just leave it, I'm not sure. Depends on what people think. Anyways, there's been a new development update post on the DayZ developer Tumblr page. Again, showing new screenshots and talking about some of the things that are going to be in the game. So, first I'm going to show and analyze those screenshots, and then I'm going to talk about some of the important things from the update post. Now, as you may know, the standalone is going to be using the Chernarus Plus map, so this picture compares the Arma 2 version to the DayZ standalone version. And as you may notice, the DayZ standalone version looks a lot better, as to be expected. Now, notice that the DayZ standalone sky looks a lot more blue, and that overall the colors just look a lot better. The lighting also looks a lot better. You can see a lot more shadows. So as I mentioned in the last video on the standalone, which you should take a look at if you haven't seen it already, the DayZ standalone uses a modified version of the Take on Helicopter engine, so they've really tweaked the engine to make it look better. Now, this is a survival model wearing a red hoodie. What's actually interesting is that this is the same character as you saw in the last batch of screenshots, only now he's not wearing a coyote backpack on his back. I'm gonna talk more about customization at the end of this video, so I'm gonna leave it at this for now. These are floating heads. Nah, they're just different races you can choose from. They definitely look better than the ones that are in Arma right now, so that's a good thing. Now, it turns out I was actually right in my last video. It was an airplane crash right through the Chernarus hotel. At least I assume this to be the Chernarus hotel, since that's the only hotel that is in Chernarus right now. Maybe in the standalone they have more hotels, but it's safe to assume that this is the Chernogorsk hotel, which means there's an airplane crash right through the side of it. So you might be able to find cool loot in the cockpit or something. Now, these next two pictures just show off some scenery, some nice lighting effects, and the new cloud system, and the nice blue sky, which definitely looks better than the current sky in the Chernarus map. But other than that, I can't really tell much about it. Now, this is a broken down car. I highly doubt you're going to be able to fix this one. You might be able to fix the one that is to the right, the blue one. But I think it's safe to assume that vehicles are going to return in the standalone game, obviously. This definitely looks better than the current roadblocks that are in place, which are basically just washing machines piled up. So this again reassures us that they are really working on the map to make it look as realistic and immersive as possible, which is definitely a good thing. Now, this shows a female zombie, something we haven't seen before. All these zombies thus far have been male and farmers. So this zombie model definitely looks good, and I think it's safe to say that the zombie movement is also going to be a lot better in the standalone game. This picture shows off the new below the airfield military camp, which definitely looks a lot better than the current one. It consists of a lot more tents and it just looks a lot more realistic. It looks like it could be an actual military camp. The current one has a bunch of barbed wire around it and about 6 tents, which isn't really much of a military camp. And it again shows us that they are really paying a lot of attention to detail. Now it's for the final picture and the most important one. Boots. Yep, these are some nice boots. You can see a little bit of dirt on them. Looks like they've been worn. Some good boots. No, but you might be able to pick these up. Actually, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be able to pick these up in game actually and just wear them. I'll talk about some of the customization next that they're talking about in the development update post. Now I'm gonna go over the written part of the update. So I'm gonna discuss some of the things that I think are important. I'm not gonna go over everything. So if you want to read everything, you can go to their Tumblr page, which I will link in the description. Now, as you can see from the previous screenshots and from what they're saying, is that they are reworking the Take on Helicopter engine to make the DayZ standalone look as good as possible. Now, they've reworked the lighting, they are seriously focusing on the architecture, and they even have a new volumetric cloud system, which you could see in these screenshots. So it's definitely a good thing that they are improving the graphics. I already think that Arma 2 looks great, so the DayZ standalone should look even better than that. The spawning of zombies and equipment is going to be a lot more server side. The way it is now is that the client spawns everything in, which means that people can easily cheat and that you can also tell where a player is by looking at the zombies in a town. So having things spawn on the server side is definitely a good thing. I just worry that this might create some lag, but since they are on a modified engine, they should be able to take care of that. Well, it's confirmed she can now pick up and drop clothing, which means you can pick up those nice boots. So you can think of all types of clothing scattered around which you can pick up and wear, which is definitely going to be an interesting thing to do. It might have you looting shops for a nice new piece of clothing, and these items can have diseases on them. This honestly worries me somewhat. I hope they're not going to over implement diseases into the game, as last time I got a cold I found it to be actually pretty annoying. And of course durability, which means you're gonna have to actually watch out for your equipment now. That actually should make the game more interesting. So they've begun their internal closed testing, still no word on the beta and still an unknown release date. Now as for the final and the most interesting part of the written update. Now this actually confirms there's going to be vehicle customization and base building, something which I think everyone is actually pleased to hear. It would definitely give you something to do, create your own base with your squad and then put armored plating on your vehicle and drive around. Now as for player customization, it seems as if you're gonna start off simple and then your character will change as you traverse the world. Now here they talk about tattoos and finding unique clothing. Now I'm not really a fan of tattoos, but it definitely seems that they are taking the player customization far. Unique clothing is a bit more interesting to me, so it seems as if you can actually find all types of clothing around the world, like those beautiful boots we saw earlier. So it's definitely gonna be fun fitting yourself out with all types of cool clothing and then getting shot in your head and having somebody rob them of your dead body. I'm definitely looking forward to that. There's also going to be weapon customization. Now it's mentioned the quantity and condition of your magazines will be particularly important to the standalone. So this makes me think that ammunition is actually going to be a lot more scarce in the standalone game than in the DayZ game right now. Which, thinking about it, I actually really like. Having less ammo laying around everywhere would definitely make you think a lot more about your encounters. It would turn the game more into a zombie survival game rather than the shooter with zombies in the background it's turned out to be now. Now as for gun customization itself, it would be great if you could find attachments around the world and actually put them on your weapon. Maybe more wasteland styles such as duct taping half of a binocular to your Lee Enfield and making it into a sniper rifle. Though that might not really be that realistic, but whatever. Maybe you'll even be able to camouflage your weapon. It can do a lot with this, but my guess is that you can find attachments around the world and actually put them on your weapon. Which is still great, it will give you something to look for, a nice new attachment for your favorite weapon. This was my DayZ standalone update video, and if you haven't done so already, please comment, rate, and subscribe for more DayZ standalone videos.